Hey, what is up everyone? It's Rich. Alright, welcome to a video. Dude, this is crazy. Comics is crazy. I'm telling you. So, here, I'm going to spin a little story. I'm going to tell you why it's so important to support your favorite artists and creators, writers, whatever. Sorry I'm a little unshaven today. I've been working a lot. But not work. I've been trying to get inking work for over a month. Me. There's nothing. I finally got something. I'm going to be working for the next 2 months on something. But, you know, I've got Blaster Kid coming. I've started uploading the art to Patreon. So they're going to get to see a lot of the inside process of what I'm working on. But, yeah, so I thought I would tell you guys a little story. I think it'll be fun to listen to. And, you know, I'm trying to get my footing on what's going on as much as probably anyone right now. Some of my friends aren't even aware of how crazy comics has gotten, and they work in the business. So I don't know if it just depends on what sort of orbit you're on that you don't, you know, understand things. But so about 3 months ago, I took a break from YouTube, only because I wanted to work on my own stuff. I needed to focus on my art and really kind of fine-tune the things that I thought that my pencils lacked. And look, in 3 months, even if you practice a lot, you really can't hammer out all the kinks. But I made a lot of progress, and actually, like, I'm pleasantly surprised with how I'm drawing now. I still wish it was way better, but it's looking pretty good. And I had a really kind of cool moment over the weekend. I needed to straighten up my office. You can't really see it, but I have a huge bookshelf here with you know, tons of books, and then I have a bookshelf here with art and then more books. But I had a lot of like fine art books in my office, John Singer Sargent, and really good stuff, Gustav Klimt, Mucha, whatever it was. And I just realized that, like, right now I'm really actually focused on drawing comic books, and I want like tons of comic stuff in my office. I want, you know, favorite comic books. I want to look at different artists' storytelling techniques. Like I'm really into it, which is awesome because, you know, a lot of times if you've worked in comics for a while, like anything, like you know, everyone knows I was a musician, blah, 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 blah. But at some point I actually needed hobbies outside of music. I couldn't always focus for years at a time on only doing music. So my hobby was video games, as funny as that sounds, and then comics. And that's how I got it working into comics, was sort of my hobby and my natural ability to draw pretty decent fused like immediately. Like that hobby became like, oh, I could buy these comic books. Oh, this has art in it. I like to draw. I'm pretty good at drawing. I think I could do this. So, yeah, but going through the books, the books I was taking out and the comics that I was bringing in, I found a stack of notebooks that I hadn't seen in a long time. So I started looking through them, and it was really cool. I had a bunch of comic book stories that I had been working on, original character designs, you know, names of characters. Like, I'm a pretty prolific writer, and you know, it's not an exaggeration to say that I could literally kind of create my own sort of comic book company with probably like 15 to 20 titles. I wouldn't have time to write them all on any kind of regular basis, but I have a lot of stuff. And you know, look, if you haven't looked at it in a while and you can read it present day and it still is exciting, then you probably had a pretty good idea. So anyway, in that notebook, I had a bunch of drawings of characters that I was gonna have in this one book, and it was really incredible how much I had improved with my art. And it was just a moment where I went like, wow, you know, you've actually come a long way. And I don't always give myself credit for that, and I've been telling the people on my Patreon that it's really easy to sort of look at where you're at now, and then, you know, there's still all this stuff that you want to learn. There's all these artists that are way better than you, and you know, it can kind of like, you know, you might go like, I wish I was better, you know, like all these people do so much kick-ass stuff. I mean, Kim Jung-gi kind of threw down the gauntlet of like, now everyone doesn't want to draw with like a sketch. They're just like, I'm going to go straight to ink and I'm going to do these drawings. And so like, I mean, at every sort of twist and turn, you're kind of being, sort of like challenged. Like, it's like, well, can you do that? Because maybe that's the new template for the cool. Yeah, and I started thinking, I was like, wow, man, like, you always want to be better, and you're always like going like, oh, I need to learn this a little better, do this a little bit better. And I started going like, man, like, I'm 500 times what I was on those drawings in that notebook. So I've really made a lot of progress, and I should be proud of that, and I should actually kind of enjoy more where I'm at currently with my work. So if you're an artist, maybe keep that in mind, that like wherever you are right now, as long as you put hard work into your art, it will get better. And as long as you're consistent and you stick to it, you'll improve. And you may not notice it right away. I always tell people, I go, look, if you really want to learn to draw, and wherever you're at, or if you're stuck or whatever it is, draw for like 3 months and don't judge what you do. But try to do the best that you can do and finish things. Those are the 3 keys to improving your art: is draw consistently, finish what you draw, and then don't judge it. Don't judge it. I'm telling you. Just put it away. You finish it, you did the best that you could, and you throw that shit in a drawer or on a shelf, and you don't worry about it. You go on to the next one, and you try to do that one a little bit better. And I guarantee in like 6 months, you will be way better than you were before. But if you sit and you micromanage each piece that you do, and also there's a new piece of information that's kind of floated to the top of the sort of like learning, learning channels that you'll see. And it's that we are conditioned now for instant gratification. It's like you want that hit of like, that was really good, give me more. And then tomorrow you want that same sort of pellet again, that is like, I shared something, they liked it. What happens is it's reducing the ability for people to have longer term goals, or to be able to look at things like, as opposed to like, I want to be rewarded tomorrow for what I did today, or I want to be rewarded tonight for what I'm doing today. Like longer goals, like a year from now, I want to be like better at this, and this. And so progress is being maybe stifled. So it's something to consider, is what are your goals? Are you trying to get like a pat on the back every day and a certain amount of likes, or are you actually trying to build a new level of ability that you'll be able to wield consistently, So it's just something to consider. So anyway, one of the points of my video, and it probably is the title, is how important it is to support your favorite artists. It's very, very competitive out there. There's thousands and thousands of artists online. We see them every day. Like, I'm really enjoying my Instagram feed. There's so much good art that I see all the time. I'm actually one pro that actually follows a lot of people that are beginners. I also follow a lot of people that are like doing fan art and stuff like that, and it's not for a follow back. I think it's important for there to be a community between artists, a community between artists and their fans, a community that's truly connected. If I see a pro and they follow 50 people and they're all other pros, are they really giving back? No. I know it's a big deal when a professional compliments your work. I can't do it all the time, and I'm constantly being asked like, what tools do I use? And it's like you've heard a million times professionals going like, like, check out my YouTube channel. It's like all there already, or like I said in the description. Like you get asked a lot of kind of pointless questions. It's just the way that it is. I could literally write like, this is a piece of art that I did for Wildcats, and someone will literally go like, what book is this for? I've never seen this before. And you're like, I mean, I said it. I don't know how much more clear I can make it. So you got a lot of time wasters out there. But for the people that are actually focused and consciously aware of like reality, I do try to engage with people, and I get a lot of private messages now, and people always want to have me look at their art. And it's like, I've got Patreon, I've got YouTube. Like, you're not gonna pull me to the side in some alley and have me like review your work when I don't even know who you are, all right? Like, if you want me to review your work, come over to Patreon and let's have a conversation. I reply to every single message on Patreon. I try to do it on YouTube because I think that the people that are supporting me on YouTube are just as important. It's amazing when someone will go to Patreon and actually, you know, pay $1 a month to support you even more. But where it really is going to be important for me in particular is in another month or two when I try to do the Kickstarter or Indiegogo for Blaster Kid. To me, Kickstarter is like saying Kleenex. It's just like a generic term for crowdfunding. Like, I've got almost 7,000 people that follow me here on YouTube. I would say the average my videos get is 400 to 800, which is not offline for that amount of subscribers. It's usually, like, to me, I have this 10% rule. I've talked about it before. If you have 100,000 people following you, you should be getting engagement from about 10,000. It's just, that's the reality of a true following. And it doesn't necessarily mean views. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But my hope would be if 6,000 people follow me on YouTube, that maybe, I think I'm almost at 7,000. It doesn't say my subscribers on my page. Like the page I'm on right now. I'm hoping I could get 600 people to support Blaster Kid. It would be great if it would even go higher, and I would love to be able to do it and not have to stress out about trying to get work. It's very, very challenging to be an inker just in general. It's even more challenging to be an inker now, and because I'm literally on the precipice of being a pretty decent new penciler, I think I'm a pretty good writer. I have a lot of exciting stuff to offer, and I'm really, really pumped to like get it out there, but I have to make sure that I have the support. That's the thing. So that's where you guys are so important to do that for me. And I know a lot of people are on my back. I've had the comments, but it's just like if you follow any kind of social media now, you know that there's a lot of attention going to different things, and it's like, when you're kind of just like you and you've got my channel and hundreds of videos to know my personality, it's like I just want to do kick-ass comics. I like being creative. I like the opportunity to make stuff up on my own, just because that's kind of how I've always been. I think because of my music roots, the only option if you're going to do music is you either write your own music or you are in a cover band, really. And so for me, it's always been really important to make stuff up, really by the age of like 11, I was writing all the time. I was writing Dungeons and Dragons games for my friends because, we couldn't really afford to buy the modules all the time. And so we'd play the ones that we all had collectively, and then I would be the dungeon master, and I would just write stories all the time for these Dungeons and Dragons games. I started writing lyrics for songs when I was like 10 or 11, and they really are not that bad for someone that age. So I've always been a creative writer. I've always been making stuff up. And, I've always been really hard on myself with my art, and that's something that carries over from being a kid. I always was so picky about what I thought was good. And then throw me in a professional mix with working around great artists, it really got completely skewed. So it's like... You took someone that was already psycho and like not I don't have OCD or ADD or any of that kind of stuff, but you know what I mean, like the quote unquote perfectionist. I think a lot of times what it is you want this stuff to be really good, and realistically you're not at a level to do it. So you call it perfectionism, but really what it is you're just scared to fail. Sorry, but that is really what it is like, I'm always scared to draw something bad because I think people are going to say something negative about it. It's like, oh, that drawing's not that good, or like the arms are stiff, or you know what I mean? But it's all stuff that you have to work through to get to the good drawings. So if you don't let yourself go through that like gauntlet of stiff drawings, I was looking at like I love Jay Lee's Namor. I think it's such cool art. And I was looking at 4 comics this morning, and one of them is it's a really shiny kind of like hollow foil cover, and it's got like Namor sort of his arms are up or his hands are out, and he's kind of like coming towards you. But like the foreshortening on the one leg is like so bad. It's really, really, it's not even, it just looks like a weird leg, like small. There's nothing is going back into perspective. I get what he was trying to draw, but I set that work on a very high pedestal. Like, I don't think it's like phenomenal illustrated work, but I really like it. And I'm like I would beat myself up so hard for like, oh, the knee pads aren't in perspective, and like, you know, all this stuff that like, it's a cool drawing, it's a cool looking cover. Who cares? I don't care, but I care when I do it. It's a weird thing. So it's like, you kind of have to get over that hump. So if you ever find yourself thinking that way, remember what I just said right now, is like, give yourself a chance to learn. It's okay. People are only going to remember the good stuff anyway, and everyone sort of collectively chuckles about the bad stuff. I think artists maybe are more sensitive about it if it's their work, but look, we talk about Travis on this channel a lot, but like, you know, I'm sure if he saw some of his Dark Stars issues, he would be like, oh my god, this stuff is terrible. And he did get way, way better than what he did there, but I actually think like issues 6 and 7 of Dark Stars are pretty cool. The Flash Annual is okay. He did a really good Hulk story. It's like the Hulk and the Thing arm wrestling in a bar. I think it's a Marvel Annual. It's cool though. It's actually very well drawn. It was interesting to me with Travis is he did that before he went to DC, and it's actually kind of drawn better than his first DC stuff. So I don't know what happened there, but it's like, unless the timeline of when they were released and actually drawn are skewed. But yeah, that's a strong piece of work that he did. It's a real short story. It's like 8 pages. They just fight in a bar, basically, if I remember correctly. But it's really good. But it's kind of better than almost at least the first 4 or 5 things he did for DC. He did a short Flash story too, in a Flash Annual that's okay. And then he did a longer, like 60-page story. But, you know, look, like, what do we remember from Travis? Remember, like, an insane run on Wildcats, like his Meta Barons work, the Space Girl, all the little pieces that he did on the side. I mean, the guy is, like, so badass. So anyway, but please, 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 if you have favorite artists and creators out there, you need to support the shit out of them. It is so important. So I'm just going to leave it at that. You make your own distinctions of what tracks and lines you follow. But I think I've shown on YouTube what kind of person I am, and I hope that you'll support me as voraciously as other things are getting supported out there, because I want to do this, and I'm going to bring it, and you know that I help other people, and I always give back to the community. And I think that that's a big deal. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. I hope you all have a great day. I got to get to work, I'm going to actually work for about 45 minutes on Blaster Kid stuff right now. So, all right, I'll talk to you all later. Bye. Smash the like.